Maddie Walker had always been drawn to the forest surrounding her hometown of Pine Hollow. The dense, ancient woods seemed to hum with life, their towering pines whispering secrets to anyone who dared venture too close. Maddie, a photographer with a taste for the eerie and unusual, decided one crisp October evening to explore the infamous Whispering Woods, a place avoided by the locals due to the unsettling stories surrounding it. Legends told of people who wandered into the forest and were never seen again, their faint cries occasionally heard by those who lingered at its edges. Maddie dismissed these tales as folklore, perfect for a campfire but hardly rooted in reality. With her camera in hand and a sturdy flashlight, she set off into the shadowy labyrinth, determined to capture its haunting beauty. The deeper Maddie ventured, the quieter the world became. The sounds of distant traffic and chirping birds faded, replaced by an almost oppressive silence. Her flashlight carved a narrow path through the darkness, illuminating ancient trees that seemed to loom closer with each step. It was then she noticed something peculiar. The whispers, faint at first, like the rustling of leaves, but they grew louder, forming fragments of unintelligible words. Maddie stopped, scanning the woods with her flashlight. No one was there. As she turned to continue, her foot caught on something. A root, she assumed. But when she looked down, she saw a twisted skeletal hand jutting out from the earth. Her breath caught in her throat as she stumbled back, heart racing. The whispers grew louder, now a cacophony of voices overlapping, as though the trees themselves were screaming. Terrified, Maddie snapped a photo of the hand, her camera's flash briefly illuminating the grotesque sight. But as the light faded, she saw something, or someone, emerge from the shadows. A figure, tall and emaciated, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce her very soul, stepped into view. Its skin was as pale as the moon, and its movements were jerky, like a marionette controlled by an unseen hand. "Help us," it rasped, its voice blending with the whispers around her. Maddie froze, her instincts screaming to run, but her legs felt anchored to the ground. Suddenly, the figure lunged, its skeletal fingers clawing at her arm. Maddie screamed, snapping another photo in blind panic. The flash disoriented the creature, and it recoiled with an otherworldly wail. Seizing her chance, Maddie ran, branches clawing at her face and hair as she raced toward what she hoped was the edge of the forest. But the woods seemed to stretch endlessly, the trees shifting like a living maze. The whispers followed her, growing louder, more frantic. "Stay with us," they begged, their desperation chilling her to the bone. Maddie tripped, falling hard onto the forest floor. She turned, expecting the creature to be upon her, but there was nothing, only silence. Maddie stumbled out of the forest just as dawn broke, her clothes torn and her camera clutched tightly in her hands. She collapsed onto the dewy grass, gasping for air. When she finally summoned the courage to review her photos, her heart sank. Every image was blurred and distorted except for one, the skeletal hand. But it wasn't jutting from the ground. In the photo, it was wrapped around Maddie's arm, its fingers digging into her flesh. She moved to brush her arm instinctively, only to feel the icy grip of something invisible. Maddie screamed, but the whispers had already returned, louder than ever. She was never seen again.